Hello there, Revan619 here. How is everyone doing? I hope you're all having a fantastic day. 10 days until the remaster, and I've been looking at my Pyromancer build again, and I was trying out 20 decks because a lot of people were saying Sanctuary Belvine only gives 30 virtual casting speed. Yeah, I've been testing this, and I've been comparing 16 decks to 20 decks. I don't see a difference in the casting speed with the Belvine on the offhand, so what I'm doing is I'm changing my build one last time, and for me this build, very enjoyable. It's obviously been the most fun build for me, and it's just so iconic. So I'm just going to quickly put my stats in there. I've gone up to 18 Vitality, which is 13 on the stats with the Chime. The reason I've gone up to that is so I can use Red Tearstone Ring. Originally I was using a 39-39, but yes, when I look at it, I had been trying out 34 Endurance, 35 Endurance, but realistically, when using it, I'd find that 25, so 30 overall with the Prisoner's Chain, is good enough for me. Now, obviously the laymen amongst people will argue that, oh, it only matters how many swings you can do or how many rolls, but that's not how a duel works. I'll go into a little bit more detail on that later. But I'm going to use the 2 points to get the 2 spell buff, because why not? Why not max damage? It doesn't really offer me anything on the actual damage for anything else, but why the hell not? So we've got 2 points left over here. You can either go 42 Endurance, or you can go 32 Endurance, or you can go 42 Vitality. Vigor. Oh my god, my words. Anyway, so here is what we've got. So we've got one at 16 decks and one at 20 decks, both using Belvine. So what I've been done is I've tried to line these up as close as possible. Unfortunately, because obviously the PS4 recording feature, we're at 30-45p, so it's pretty hard to get them exactly perfect, because obviously depending on where the frames are, it's not as easy to line them up. But if we look at here frame by frame, the casting speed is virtually identical. Like, even if there is a mild difference, like I don't think I actually notice it on the time from when you press R2 to when the flame comes out of your hand, or even impacts. Look, it leaves the hand almost at the exact same frame, and as you go through the animation frame by frame, it's pretty much identical here. So I haven't tested with 10 dexterity, but my Demon Scar requires 16 dexterity. So 16 dexterity with Sanctuary Belvine is 100% the max casting speed that you can use with Chaos Bed Vestiges. Black Flame and Fire Surge are also at max casting speed, so nothing's changing here. So yeah, the 20 dex thing that some people are peddling, rubbish. You only need at least 15. I haven't checked with 10. Someone else can do that. I don't have any builds that use 10 decks in Sanctuary Belvine, so it's not going to be my thing to check. But yeah, I'm pretty settled on this. Yes, I'm losing a couple of AR on the Murky Hand Scythe, but overall, doesn't matter. I'd rather go for maximum damage. And yes, I was using 39-39 because it's only 2 spell buff less, but why not? Max damage. So as I said earlier, I changed from 17 Vitality to 18, and that main reason was because you can go in the duel, you can start with Life Ring, so you have that little extra 10% health, so you've got the 1870 something there, and then once you take that 10% damage, you can swap over from Life Ring to Sun Princess Ring or Great Swamp Ring to get maximum damage, and once you're low, you swap Great Swamp to the Red Tearstone Ring to get even more damage. Now, I prefer just to start with Great Swamp Ring because I use a lot of Fire Surge pressure, and I don't really want to be losing anything. As you can see, the rest of my equipment's there. I've covered all of them before and what I use them for. Obviously, the fashion is the iconic Revan look, and honestly, I just think the look, the weapons, the build, the playstyle, I've tailored this so much to me personally, and it's one of those things, it really is a meta contender. Like, I went into a tournament and I beat some of the best meta players that we have, like Closed Tripod, Solus, Skip to My Nash, I Lag You, and all that sort of stuff. And I won with a Pyromancy build, and this is something that people have always said was not viable, and honestly, it really is. Now, some of the main combos we got here with this build, if I quickly just go over there. Now, R1 true combos into Black Flame. You can then chase Panic Roll, and then you can R1 Black Flame again, and it will true combo if you catch the roll. Some of the other things that you can do with this, R1 Black Flame, and then for your Parry Kings, you go into the Weapon Art, and afterwards you can quickly follow up into another Black Flame or an R1, depending on latency. If there's a little bit of latency, I would say go for the R1. It won't combo into another Black Flame, but if there's no latency, then you can go from the Weapon Art into Black Flame and you can get that, and it is a huge damage combo. Of course, Chaos Bed Vestiges true combos into an R1 Black Flame, so if you can catch a close range Chaos Bed Vestiges, definitely do. It's very good for catching people who panic roll. You can free aim it, but realistically you don't really need to. Locked on, it's absolutely fine. You got the weapon up for your parry kings because it's just such a good bait setup. And yeah, so that's just one of those things here. Now, I had talked about earlier that some people argue that only the amount of R1s matters. As you can see, at 30 I can get off 7 swings and still get 1 roll. I can do several different rolls, but the thing is, that's not how a duel works at all. Anyone who makes that argument of, you get this X number of rolls or X number of swings is an idiot. Basically, in a duel, you're going to be running around a lot. Your stamina's then going to regenerate. Sometimes you're going to be doing running attacks. You're going to be going for R1s. You're going to be rolling after them. Then you're going to be running to chase per more pressure. So how many swings you can get off and how many rolls isn't important. But at 30, I feel like that's just the optimum that I have to play with. And if I ever need to reset, I can. So let's just get into some duels and just talk about the playstyle. I'll link my other Pyromancy videos at the end of this, because we've got one where I've used the build before and shown it off, and I've got one where I've shown you all the different types of Pyromancy builds. So yeah, there's not going to be too much I'm going to go in with the play here, because I've covered everything so much. Like hell, I've spent nearly 2 years playing Pyro since the launch of this game. So as you can see with this guy, my goodness, I'm using Fire Surge to punish his spacing to keep... I'm playing passive here, so I'm playing passive, making him come to me, and then I'm punching him. Demon Scar has a little bit of a range issue and a trading issue, so if your opponent is playing passive, it is pretty hard to go in. Oh, hello, Soul Glacies. I've been trying to snipe this bastard for ages, Howie, and yeah, I can just never get him. But yeah, I'm recording a video, and it's like, oh, hi, Soul. Goodness. Okay, I've swapped from my Chaos Murky to Dark because even though it has less damage, it shield chips better. So yeah, trade, R1, 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 R1. Oh wait, is that the parry dagger? Sorry, I thought that was Mailbreaker. Okay, don't want to get caught by that. So I call him with a bunch of them. I'm going to go Fire Surge. Ugh, that's why I hate katanas. Visibly the running attack misses, but it still catches you anyway. I need to learn to roll more often against those. I always try to space the running attack, but I can just never seem to do it. Yeah, Soul's trying out Onikiri build, so I'm not going to judge him for that duel. GG, my dude. I'm looking forward to you live streaming some of those. Yeah, check that out for Soul Glacier if you want some sweet katana action. Okay, so we got the shield tail I had before. So yeah, like I said before, it's very easy to pressure people and play passively with this build. Now this time I'm being a little bit more aggressive. I'm keeping with the short little runs, so if he goes for a running attack or he goes for an R1, I can keep out of his space. But I'm also applying pressure with Fire Surge. Now if you notice, I saw him panic roll and then I was able to punish the roll with Chaos Bed Vestiges. True comboed R1 Black Flame, his health is just gone. Very easy to do, very easy to punish hyper armor weapons, very easy to punish other range stuff. One-handed greatswords, not that good in this game. One of the things I'm looking forward to in the remaster is being able to play greatswords. Passive poise, it's like having perseverance all the time, non-stop. Because that's what every Dark Souls 1 fanboy wants, infinite poise. Okay, so as you saw there, 2 R1s, he went for a run, I went for a roll catch. I didn't go for the Black Flame because I didn't think I caught the end of his hyper arm. I did, could have got the true combo, missed opportunities. So you notice here, I'm keeping out of his range and I'm using Fire Surge to make up for the fact that my range isn't the best. Missed my backstab on his weapon art, I was a little bit slow. So yeah, you want to keep outside of their R1 range and then punish any of their R1s with Fire Surge, and if you are close enough, you want to go for your R1s. As long as you're spacing better than your opponent, you should be impossible to punish. So we got the same guy again here. I ended the last game by trading a running attack. Absolutely okay, because I knew he was going to die. If I did that at the start of duel whilst we were on full health, that would have been bad. If you notice, I also block when I run. That's so I don't pivot when you quickly turn angles. Yeah, anyone who's watched me long enough should know what that is. If you don't, well, you do now. So GG, guys, GG. So yeah, like indeed, I took a hit there. Like, it doesn't matter if you get hit every now and then, because I built this build to take hits. It's a melee build at heart, even though I am a caster. And the best caster. Oh, God. The ego. Press F to pay respects. Okay, so this guy has Perseverance and Strike Damage. Strike Damage is my lowest defense, and yeah, he's all physical. So he's using Perseverance, so I can't interrupt him. He's also got Hyper Armor. He's probably over-leveled. So yeah, I'm not going to try and R1 into him, especially if there's a little bit of latency. If you look at the time between it reacts, like he got hit by the Bed Vestiges, then he rolled, and he took no damage. And if you saw the delay on that Black Flame there, it's very scary. So what I'm doing is I'm keeping outside of his R1 range, hoping that latency doesn't allow him to magically hit me. Like, oh, did you see that? Like, that throwing bomb was nowhere near me, but it still damaged my roll. I didn't take damage, but it like connected with my roll. Oh, see, look, I hit him with the bed vestiges, but he still got the R1 off somehow. Woo, GG. Alright, this time I'm going to punish a buff if he goes for it. See, this is quite scummy, I'm not going to lie, but the thing is, in the arena, no buff is free. Sometimes I'll let people get 1 buff, sometimes I'll let them get 3, other times I'll punish just 1. Oh, so we got ourselves a mage. Now, mages, stuff like Homing Thor Arrow and the Farron Dart, too quick to be punished by Chaos Bed Vestiges. Their slower spells like Crystal Soul Spear and Crystal Homing Soul Mass and Affinity, very easy to punish with Chaos Bed Vestiges. A good mage will mostly just run away with Homing Soul Mass. The only way to really punish that is with Fire Surge, so you keep out their R1 distance and you just Fire Surge chip and then you roll them if they go for their turnaround. And then once the spell's not up, you can just roll catch them to death. You got a Curve Sword, it's the best weapon in the game. It's the best roll catching weapon in the game. This guy is trying to run away with regen. Notice I'm keeping close to keep Fire Surge pressure up and I'm trying to avoid his R1s, and if I get an opportunity to land an R1 myself, I will take it. The reason you go for a lot of chip this way is it stops people just being passive and getting you to run into them. Misspaced at the end there, I took a hit, but I won, and this guy needs to learn to roll more. Okay, so this time, Black Knight Shield. So if you notice, I only chip 10 damage, so I can't just use Fire Surge here. He can just walk away and only take 10. Ooh, he's actually a magic build. So what I'm trying to do here is I'm trying to keep out of his spacing for Black Knight Shield. I've applied regen to make him come to me, because if he thinks I'm regenning, people get normally stupidly aggressive if they see your health increasing. So it's a way to counteract turtling play, and it's a way to get your health back. So either he has to attack me or I regen health, because if he's regenning, it's probably going to be slower than mine, because he'll have, what, maybe a ring? And yeah, that ring isn't going to regen as much as my weapon art here is. And because it's not Saintry Bellvine, because it's the Saintry Bellvine, not the Sacred Chime, I have to keep it out. But anyway, he's got too close, so now I'm going for my R1 spam on his shield. Good player would have rolled away after 1 hit. If you notice, I'm not walking into his range. Some passive shield turtles, like your players like Closed Tripod, will do nothing the entire game and will only turtle try to run away from you, and they'll only R1 if it's to punish an R1. So those players are the players that you have to learn to open up, and that's why I use stuff like regen, because otherwise, like that, I'm going to walk into his hits, and yeah, that's how shield turtles play. They run away until you walk into their hits, or you whiff, and then they can punish you. Luckily, I've overall played smarter here, but it could have gone wrong. Oh, that's the guy I messed up earlier. So this time he's not gone for the buff, but gets roll call. Does a stomp, gets roll call again. And R1 Black Flame. Gets roll call, gets roll call. Oh, that's why Curve Swords are so good. This is the Dark Souls 3 meta. It's spacing, it's catching rolls, it's punishing your opponent, it's mind games. And another mage. Okay, so mages are quite popular today. It's actually quite good to see people using Greatsword Judgment. I actually prefer that one because I like the little purple glow. Not as good as Moonlight Greatsword, I don't personally think, but I still like it. As far as Greatswords go, anyway. So yep, this is a mage who's now running away that he's realised that I can dodge both Greatsword R1s and his spells. One-handed, no hyper armor. Not the smartest play. Good thing about being able to spell cancel, you can still roll those running attacks. Yeah, see, my biggest weakness in this game is I get too over eager and I don't roll things that I think I could have spaced. Now he's swapped to a nerfed curve sword. So yeah, he's going to try and hit me with a two-handed curve sword. I'm also using a curve sword, so I trade into his running attack. I can get off another R1 because if we trade, I can go for an R1 before he can roll. R1 Black Flame, big damage, get wrecked. Yeah, running attack's never really safe on a curve sword. Oh, another Pyromancer using almost the same build. He's not using Saintry Bellvine, but he just applied Sacred Chime regen. So I'm going to do so much damage so quickly, it's not even going to matter. So I'm trying to get him rolling, getting him aggressive with Fire Surge, R1 Black Flame, see, roll catches, big damage, and then roll catch again, 1200 damage, another R1 before he could roll, 1294. That's why I prefer this over Scimitar, same length. Ultra Greatsword meta. Okay, see, when someone's not laggy using an Ultra Greatsword, they are very, very easy to beat. The only people that I've ever had trouble with who use Ultra Greatswords are people that have a slight connection issue where you will sometimes roll their running attack, but they'll still damage or stagger you anyway. That's literally the only time I've ever struggled against an Ultra Greatsword. Okay, so he's learned to drop the Ultra Greatsword. He's shield bumping to let me know he's not going to underestimate me this time. Goes for a very obvious running attack. So he's just running at me trying to apply a lot of pressure. I'm using a curved sword, so that's actually a very silly thing to do. He goes for a panic roll there, catch him with a Chaos Bed Vestiges. It's more common than you think that you'll land those. People who say Chaos Bed Vestiges is a bad spell, they're not very good. Okay, so this guy's trying to circle backstab me because I'm using Fire Surge. So the way to avoid Fire Surge is quick runs to the side. You can actually do it in... You can run with the ticks themselves. You don't need to constantly run like that, because that's how that guy was getting caught by my R1s. Okay, he swapped to a Hyper Armor running attack. I've swapped to a Quick Step Dagger. This is what I'll do against Halberds. It's what I'll do against Ultra Great Weapons. And it's also what I'll do against Katanas, because I can just avoid their attacks and punch them so easily. Okay, he's gone back to a straight sword. Quick Step is not very effective against curved or straight swords, because if they are one spam, they will catch your quick steps. It's very hard to reactively time to every single hit. I even taught a couple of tryhards who I won't name drop here, but yeah, they were trying to Murky Handside Quick Step me, and they got demolished and learned that's not the way. My god, everyone's a mage today. Gemetic must be turning over in his grave. Well, he's not dead, but you get what I'm going for there. Okay, so he's being hyper-aggressive, rolling at me. I expected a parry. The R1 was actually pretty smart, so it knocked me out of the weapon art. Yeah, demolished. Absolutely demolished. The good thing about curved swords is they're so good for passive play. Like, he's trying to chase me down, and I was just running away. I'm being the reactive player here. And just look how easy it is to put in this huge burst damage. But no, he tried really hard. Okay, Valahart. Valahart is something you have to be careful on because you don't want to train to those R1s. I have fought a very good Valahart player who can make you panic roll and will then get those giant leering jump pokes. This guy, however, I don't think he's going to be that good. He's gone for rolling attacks. Anyone who goes for a rolling attack with the Valahart, you know they're not that experienced, as you can see there. Easily set him up, huge damage. He wasn't able to trade out of it. Oh! Okay, so the dude from earlier, he's now trying a Tooth. Okay, so the Fume didn't work, Ring Knight Straight Sword didn't work, Dragon Tooth is what he thinks will work. So again, I can just use Fire Surge as passively as I want. I can punish anything he does with an R1 Black Flame. Or I can swap to a Murky Hand Scythe and really, really punish him. See, the good thing about Murky Hand Scythes, even if they are one spam and I don't break their hyper armor, I can actually hit and quick step between the hits, even if he's swinging R1, like this. This is why ultras aren't meta. It's why they're not viable against any skilled opponent. Like, yeah, sure, they might work against PvE players, but no skilled opponent is really going to be going down to these. Okay, so this guy was trying a regen build and was kind of running away. Wants to also set parries. Thought he would try to parry the weapon art. See, that's why I went for that. R1 Black Flame. Thought he would parry the weapon art, but he didn't. He rolled. If I'd gone for the R1s, I probably could have roll catched him and got it twice. Okay, as you see there, he went for the weapon art, and I didn't break his hyper arm with the R1, so he was able to roll out of the Black Flame. What I should have gone for is two R1s, which would have both connected. Even if he wouldn't have been stunned. So yeah, you have to know when to go for two R1s and when to go for two Black Flames. I'll sometimes make those mistakes, but the more you play with this build, the more you'll learn. And honestly, I do think this is the best build. Like, it's... For a lot of people, it'll never be meta because it requires too much skill investment, whereas just a Pontiff Knight Curved Sword or a Lothric Knight Sword and Shield or Crossbow is always going to be easier. But if you learn your rolls, the Fire Surge is practically unpunishable. And like, you can Fire Surge someone trying to crossbow you and then roll the bolt each time, but your rolls have to be perfect. Okay, this guy's using a mace, and I know his connection's good. So R1 Black Flame, R1, R1, R1. Oh, he needs to learn to roll. GG, no re, my sir. No fear, no fear. Okay, again, another one of them Ultra Great Sword metas that everyone keeps telling me about. Yeah, this guy... Again, perfect connection. Ugh, my spacing was bad. Perfect connection, so I have absolutely no fear of his Ultra Great Sword. It's only if there's even mild latency you really need to be worried. Like, someone using a dagger and an Ultra Great Sword, if they have a slight connection issue, it can be very deadly, because if you mispredict their running attack, it will still stun you, even if it shouldn't, so you can't just roll backstab it like you would normally, or just space R1, because they've got extended stagger. And again, if you make the mistake thinking they're going to go for a dagger hit and you accidentally trade into an ultra greatsword hit because of their connection, you're going to take huge damage. But yeah, anyone in a good connection, just play smart, play reactively, avoid their hits and punch them when needed. Okay, so last duel clip of the day. Yeah, I've started off with Sanctuary Bellvine, which I'm going to switch back to Caestus. So now I've got passive regen on. You can also use Dark Moon Ring to obviously start with Tears of Denial. That's probably what I'll do at Pontiff, but here I'm not going to do it. Oh, it's this guy. This is the guy who likes to run for me. Okay, wow. That's why he likes to run for me, by the way, guys. Jeez. Yeah, he's going to try and run the clock to draw. So I'm going to have to keep on him. I'm punching his rolls with Fire Surge because it's just guaranteed damage. If I can get close enough, I'll try to roll catch him with an R1. Oh, he actually went to hit me. Wow. Wow. Yeah, GG. Yeah, you can punish, you know, roll spam with Fire Surge. That's what I like about Dark Souls 3. Higher skill will always win. It's not just who can spam backstab the most. But anyway, 10 days to remaster. I'm looking forward to it. Revan out.